Guys, this is Elena Seungeun Lee from We Learn to Share. Welcome to the video of AP English Literature and Composition. In this video, we're going to learn about forms of poetry, especially about the sonnet. But before we go on, dive into our topic today about the sonnet specifically, let's just review what kind of poetry there is in a larger sense. So there are basically two large types of poetry or forms of poetry. First, we have the narrative poetry, which talks about stories, and we have the lyrical poetry that's more like a song. And in terms of the narrative poetry, we have two different types. We have the epic, which is a lengthy narrative poem, typically about the extraordinary deeds of extraordinary characters. So it's very epic. And we also have the ballad, which is a narrative song passed down orally. And in terms of the lyrical poetry, we have four different types. One is the ode, so it addresses and often celebrates a person, place, thing, or idea. Its stanza forms Berry. And we have the elegy, which is the death of which talks about the death of a public personage or of a friend or loved one. And we have the sonnet, which we're going to learn about today, which is comprised of 14 lines of verse that follows a specific rhyme scheme. It's from Italy. And we have lastly the dramatic monologue, which is a form of speech of an individual character, saying a vivid scene, a nervous sense of the speaker's history and psychological insight. So let's first learn about sonnets. So sonnets, they can be applied to any short lyric poem. And sonnet derived from the Italian word means sonetto, which means a little sound or song. And it developed it first emerged in Renaissance Italy, and then it passed to the Elizabethan era England. And then when it passed to the Elizabethan England, then that's when the sonnet became a fixed poetic form. So it started to have a certain type of form that's fixed. And then the sonnets, the most important thing is that they consist of 14 lines, and they're written in usually iambic pentameter in English. Don't worry, we're going to learn about iambic pentameter later on. And they also can be broken down into 4 sections called quatrains. And all sonnets have a two-part thematic structure containing either a problem and solution, question and answer, proposition, and reinterpretation. So which means that the sonnets could be largely divided into 2 parts, right? Within their structure. So one part would be talking about problem, the other talking about solution, one would talk about question, one would talk about answer, and etc. etc. And within their 14 lines, they have something that's called volta. Volta is like a tomb, so it's like a rhetorical shift or dramatic change in, through, or emotion. And now let's learn about iambic pentameter. So I've told you that the styles, over here, right? That is written in usually iambic pentameter in English for sonnets. And what we're going to learn what iambic pentameter is. So iambic pentameter is basically a style of writing in poetry where each line is 5 feet long. So you have the word pentameter. So it's basically iambic pentameter. If you break this word up, you have iambic, right? So it includes iams, which are 2 syllables of poetry, and then you have pentameter, penta, which is 5 times. So each foot contains 2 syllables, right? It has iams, and one is stressed, and the second one is unstressed. So each line carries 10 syllables because you have 2 syllables and you have this 5 times. So it's 2 times 5 is 10. So it has 10 syllables, and you have one would be stressed, one would be unstressed. So 5 of them will be stressed, another 5 would be unstressed. An example would be this: shall I compare thee to a summer's day? You will break down this into 5 times, right? Shall I compare thee to a summer's day, right? So you have E-A, like there are 2 syllables over here, like summer's day, and like thee too, or something like that, right? So this is what you call iambic pentameter. And then I told you that the 14 lines of sonnets could be divided into 4 quatrains. And the first quatrain usually should establish the subject of the sonnet because it's the first part, right? And the number of lines is of course 4 because it's 4. And then the rhyme scheme over here is A-B-A-B. And the second quatrain over here should develop the sonnet's theme, and then numbers of lines is 4, and then the rhyme scheme is C-D-C-D. And the third quatrain should round off or complete the sonnet's theme, and the number of lines is 4, so in the rhyme scheme should be E-F-E-F. And the fourth quatrain should act as a conclusion because it's the end, right, to the sonnet. And numbers of lines is 2 because you have 4, 4, 4, so 4 times 3 is 12, and you have 14 minus 12 is 2. So the number of lines with the last quatrain, fourth quatrain would be 2. The rhyme scheme would be G. So at the end of the day, if you kind of go over all of this, the rhyme scheme will be for the whole sonnet would be A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, G, G, right? Now let's more look upon the structure and form. So there are majorly two types of sonnets. One is Quatrain, which is Italian, and the second one is Shakespeare in English. So let's first look at the Italian sonnet first. So it basically has an octave, right? So it's 8 lines, and they have a set step, which is 6 lines. So an octave raises a question or makes an argument, and then the 6-line thing explores and resolves the issue. And always, I told you, sonnet has 14 lines. 8 line plus 6 line is 14 lines, right? And each sonnet has a tune, which is a place in the poem where from questioning to resolution. Remember that these Quatrain sonnet has an octave, which asks a question, and then the set is what explores and resolves the issue. So it has a tune where each of them questioning to resolution, and the rhyming scheme would be ABBA, ABBA, CDE, CDE. So I kind of need when I needed to remember this, I kind of sang a song. I said like ABBA, ABBA, CDE, CDE, like that, right? So you can follow that if it helps. And then the second one is Shakespearean sonnet. So this one will be more familiar to us because it's like the English version, English type of sonnet. And for Shakespearean sonnet, you have 3 quatrains, which contains of 4 lines, and then you have 1 couplet, which consists of 2 lines. So 3 quatrains over here presents distinct different images, and couplet resolves it. So again, 3 times 4 is 12 plus couplet 2, right? 12 plus 2 is 14. So that's why sonnets always have a 14 line. Remember that, right? And then for the sonnets, for the Shakespearean sonnets rhyme scheme, it's A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, G, G. This is actually this one, right? A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, G, G. And then Shakespearean sonnet, they cover themes such as love, jealousy, beauty, and infidelity, the passage of time and death, so there are various topics. And by the third couplet, the sonnets usually take a turn, right? And the poet comes to some kind of epiphany or teaches the reader a lesson. So this would be kind of the highlight of the whole sonnet. And then let's look at some examples. So this is a summer's day that's written by Shakespeare. And this is sonnet 18, probably the most well-known of all Shakespeare sonnets. We have Shelley compared thee to summer's day. You can read all of this, pause the video. And after reading this sonnet, you can come back. Okay, welcome back. And then you can see, if you kind of look at this whole sonnet, you're going to find out there's 3 quatrains. So there are 4 lines. You can divide this into 4 times, like this, over here, and this, and then 4, and then you have 2 left. So these are 3 quatrains, each consisting of 4 lines, and then you would have 1 couplet consisting of 2 lines. And then this is written in iambic pentameter, and it compares the young men to a beauty of a summer's day. And this is another sonnet. Pause the video, read this, and come back. Okay, welcome back. So this is first fight, then fiddle. So over here, before we go on, right, the origin of this, right, is the first sonnet in the sequence Children of Poor in the womanhood section of Annie Allen, written in 1949. And this is a sonnet, right? It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This is 14 lines, a sonnet, right? And the theme over here is resorting to violence for self-preservation, advocates for the use of militancy to make the environment safe for art to flourish during the period of rigid segregation. And persona over here is a black mother. And over here, you can still see that's 14 lines, right? And you can divide this into each quatrains and couplets. Okay. So yeah, basically this would be the end of today's video. I hope this video had helped, and then you could also now know what is a sonnet is, how many lines does it consist of, what kind of different types of sonnets there are. Okay, so thank you for watching this video, and see you in the next video.